Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in? Like there's something about you, an energy, a mission, that people around you just can't understand? Maybe you've asked yourself, why do I feel this way? Why, even when I'm surrounded by people, does this sense of being different stick around? The answer to these questions might be something beyond human logic. What you're about to discover isn't for everyone. What if I told you that this feeling of being set apart, of being different, could be one of the biggest signs that you've been chosen by God? Yes, chosen. Destined for something far greater. People like you, who carry this sense of not being understood, are often on a divine path with a purpose that's not always clear from the start. Joseph, David, Moses, they all went through this. They felt different, isolated, but not because they were less important. It was the exact opposite. They were God's chosen, and He was preparing something amazing for them. Have you ever experienced things that felt way beyond the ordinary, like something inside you is screaming out for a mission you don't fully understand yet? If so, stick with me. Throughout this video, I'm going to reveal 5 signs that show you might be one of God's chosen. These signs come from biblical stories and deep spiritual experiences. Stories that prove being different is the first step to living something much bigger. And if you keep watching, you'll realize that this difference is actually a gift, something that sets you apart, but also lifts you up. You know that phase where it feels like everything around you just shuts down? Suddenly you find yourself alone, without support, without company, even from people who used to always be there. Many see this isolation as a curse, a time of pain and abandonment. But what few know is that this is one of the biggest signs that God is working deeply in your life. Because isolation is often misunderstood. It can seem like a tough, lonely phase. But for God's chosen ones, it's the time of greatest transformation. During this phase, God works in silence, shaping, refining, and preparing you for what's ahead. David is a classic example. He was anointed as king at a young age, but it took years for that destiny to come to pass. During that time, he faced persecution, lived in hiding, and went through trials that, to many, would have seemed like punishment. But that isolation wasn't punishment. It was preparation. In this phase, God is refining your faith, strengthening your character, and teaching lessons that only silence and solitude can provide. This period might feel tough, but it's crucial for spiritual growth. Just like gold is purified in fire, you're being prepared for a greater purpose. God's chosen ones have something in common. They dream in a different way. Their dreams aren't just random scenes. They're deep, vivid, and filled with meanings that stir the soul. These dreams are often divine messages, bringing clear guidance, revelations about the future, or important warnings. Remember the story of Joseph? His prophetic dreams didn't just reveal what was to come. They set him on the right path to fulfill God's purpose. Every dream he had brought him closer to his mission, even when it seemed like everything was against him. But let me tell you, dreams like this don't just happen out of nowhere. They're one of the ways God communicates directly with His chosen ones, showing what needs to be done, where to go, or even what to avoid. And when you have this kind of dream, you know it's not just coincidence. There's a reason behind every detail, and it's up to you to pay attention. If you've been having experiences like this, stay alert. These dreams could be guiding you towards something bigger, something only you can understand and follow. One incredible thing that happens to God's chosen ones is they start to notice a special favor. It's not just luck or talent. It's like doors start opening where they'd normally be closed. This favor isn't just spiritual. It shows up in your relationships with the people around you too. You start to see that, without really knowing how, situations begin to unfold in your favor. People come into your life to help, and opportunities appear where you least expect them. This kind of favor isn't something you earn through effort or talent. It's a divine gift, a sign that there's a bigger purpose guiding your steps. I remember a time in my life when things seemed stuck. I was in a job where I felt trapped, with no real prospects for growth. But even though I didn't know exactly why, I kept trusting God. And then, out of nowhere, an unexpected opportunity showed up. It was like a door I didn't even know existed had opened for me. And the craziest part? I didn't do anything to make it happen. It just happened. People started seeing me differently, and I was led to a position I never imagined I'd reach at that moment. That wasn't my doing. It was God's favor, clearing the way and guiding my steps, even when I didn't understand what was going on. When you experience God's favor, it doesn't mean life will always be easy or that challenges will disappear. In fact, sometimes it's because you carry a greater purpose that the hardships seem to increase. And that's where the strength that sets God's chosen apart comes in: resilience. If there's one thing that truly defines God's chosen ones, it's resilience. They don't just face challenges, they're shaped by them. Every difficulty, every obstacle that comes their way becomes an opportunity for growth. Life isn't easy for those who carry a greater purpose, but the strength that rises in the face of adversity is something extraordinary. What's so amazing about this resilience is that it doesn't come from willpower or personal effort. It comes from faith, from the certainty that even when everything seems to be falling apart, there's a bigger plan in action. Every challenge is like a test, a trial of endurance that doesn't break you, but makes you stronger. There was a time in my life when it felt like everything was going wrong. I faced betrayals from friends. People distanced themselves. And at that moment, there was no light at the end of the tunnel for me. But it was in that period that I discovered a strength I never knew I had. It wasn't just mine. It was something that came from God, something that pushed me to keep going, even when everything around me said to give up. That resilience shaped me, made me grow. And I realized that every pain, every loss, had a purpose. Today, looking back, I see how God used those moments to prepare me, to strengthen me, and make me a better person. And that's exactly what happens with God's chosen ones. Resilience empowers us to overcome challenges and grow with every battle we face. But along this journey, God not only strengthens us, He also gives us the tools to navigate life's paths with more clarity. And one of the greatest gifts given to the chosen is spiritual discernment. God's chosen ones develop a spiritual discernment and intuition that go beyond human logic. This helps them make the right decisions, see beyond the obvious, and avoid traps that could lead them astray. It's a gift that God gives to protect and guide those who have a special purpose. A classic example of this discernment in the Bible is King Solomon. When God offered him anything, Solomon didn't ask for wealth or power. He asked for wisdom, and God granted him the gift of discernment to judge the people with fairness. This gift was tested when two women came before him, each claiming to be the mother of a baby. Solomon, with his divine intuition and wisdom, proposed cutting the child in half, knowing that the real mother, moved by love, would give up her child to save him. It was through this discernment that he made a just and right decision. This ability to discern right from wrong, to see beyond appearances, is something God gives to His chosen ones so they can navigate life's challenges with wisdom. It's not something easily gained. It's a gift that grows with faith and trust in God's plan. If you feel that in critical moments an inner voice guides you, like a sixth sense, and helps you make decisions that don't seem logical at first, it could be a sign of this gift at work. It's something precious, protecting you and keeping you on the path God has laid out for you. Every feeling of isolation, every vivid dream, every unexpected favor, and every challenge faced with resilience is part of a bigger purpose. God is constantly guiding His chosen ones on a path that often only makes sense later on. If you resonated with these experiences, it could be a clear sign that God has something special planned for your life. These 5 signs are reminders that you're not alone, that there's a divine hand guiding your every step, shaping you for something great. The journey of the chosen isn't easy, but it's rewarding, and that reward isn't just in the blessings you receive along the way, but in the spiritual growth, the strengthening of your faith, and the certainty that you're exactly where God wants you to be. My message to you is simple. Keep trusting. Even when you don't always understand the why behind what's happening, know that everything is working together for the good of those who are called according to God's purpose. Reflect on the signs in your life and let them draw you even closer to God and His will for you. And one more thing, share this message with those you think might also be on this journey. You could be the light they need to recognize God's purpose in their lives. God bless you and your family.